Hey, so you read the title, how to find a j- how to find a job. That word sounds so uncomfortable saying, but you need a job, and I'm not going to waste any of your time. So here's just 4 steps you can do to get a job. So the first step you recommend for you guys to do is to create a resume, and not just any resume you find online, right? You can't just go online and just like click on some random resume, and then that resume is like in some funky format with like clouds and images and PNGs everywhere, and then you submit that to an actual like job application and you don't hear back, there's a reason. So like job applications use this thing called TAS, TAS, and what that does basically is that it just filters through all the resumes using some like code or machine or something, and then it just takes the resume and then the keywords that they're looking for, and then it just like passes it. So if your resume passes the filtering screen, then you have a guaranteed like higher chance of actually getting an interview. And what not many people know about is that there are certain resumes that do a better job of kind of like filtering through tasks, and certain resumes that just aren't really good for like the machine reading. And a resume that does that really well is Jake's Overleaf template. So I'll link this below in the description. There are also other resumes that are very like task friendly, other resume formats, and Jake's template has worked fine for me. It has gotten me plenty of interviews. So I highly recommend you use Jake's template. And then after you use Jake's template, just like, put in your name obviously, and then put in a lot of things about yourself. You should have your school, your grades if applicable, and then like the courses you've taken. If you want to put them on there, I don't put them on there. It's like your own choice. And then I'd also put my experience, if you have any, projects you've worked on in the past, hackathons. If you're a CS major or STEM major, hackathons look really nice on your resume. People love that. And then your technical skills, if you have technical skills in your field, right? And then that should be pretty much it for the resume portion. Just make sure you look through it, ask your friends to see, hey, does this look good? What any improvements I can make? And make sure you're not just asking like some random friend. Make sure you're asking a friend who's actually also like been through the process of like getting a job or something like that. So after your resume is taken care of, we can then go ahead and move on to the application portion of like trying to get a job, because we want jobs. We need them to pay for our skins, our Fortnite skins, and most importantly, our battle passes. So we need jobs for that. And most importantly, let's get to the application phase. The application phase consists of you free firing and trying to apply to as many companies as possible. You can do that, but there's also a very smarter way you can approach like the application stage. What I tend to do is that I go on simplify.com, I log in with my Google account, and then I go ahead and put my resume on there, anything additional, and then I just scroll through the job openings, and then I just click on like apply, apply, apply. And then it does it for you instead of having to manually go through everything all at once. So I look at that. I'd also make sure that I go on GitHub as well. GitHub has plenty of job openings on there, or links to job openings on there. So just search up GitHub on your field, CS for some of you guys, and then the application season and year. So like summer 2025 or fall 2025. If you're applying for this off cycle, I'd highly recommend doing that, because it also gives you more job openings as well, and links in the description for that as well for CS majors. Sorry. So once you finally have like all of that combined, you have a good resume that you can go ahead and submit applications to, and you've applied, chances are we've gotten an interview, which is really great because somebody saw our resume and they said they want to interview us, right? So we can't let this slip. We can't let this slip. So once you get to that stage, usually a recruiter reaches out to you and you want to like do like some jobs, engineering jobs require you to do a technical interview, and there is going to be a behavioral interview that most people have regardless of your background. So I'm going to be talking more about the behavioral interview. So in the behavioral interview, they're probably going to ask you some questions about like how did you overcome a certain like problem or something along those lines. That's the most common one. And for a lot of these questions, you can use the STAR method. So that's the situation, task, action, and then the result. So the situation, I can give you an example of just like a basic hackathon example. The situation is that we want to create something for a hackathon to do well on. And we have a project in mind, and now we just have to go through and execute the project, right? The action would be looking through the docs, looking through for certain APIs we can use or libraries. And then the action, wait, no, that's the task, right? That's the task, my fault. And then the action will be us actually working on the project. And then R, which is the result, will be us doing well on the project and then hopefully getting like a high place on the hackathon, right? So then for the STAR method, recruiters love that. Like, I was doing a behavioral once and I did use the STAR method and he was like, nice, we love the STAR method, you know? Like, they go really crazy for it. They really love the STAR method. So I highly recommend you use it if you have a behavioral interview. And for technical, I can't speak too much about it for other majors, but if you are doing CS or computer engineering, they would usually ask you some like technical programming questions involving LeetCode. So I'd highly recommend do the dailies if you have time for them, or if not, like the blind 75 list on LeetCode helps a lot. And I think that deserves its own video. I'll go into deep into that for this one. But now that you have like a resume, you've applied to jobs, and let's say that interview went really well, right? They really liked you for your behavioral and technical skills. We probably have an offer, or we don't have an offer. So this is the decision step, right? You got a decision on the company you got. If you got an offer, like, dude, you're chilling, you're great, right? But if you didn't get an offer, this is not where we like ghost them, right? We want to also make sure that we ask them like, hey, what are some things I did well? Something that I didn't really do as well. And if they're a nice company, they'll probably let you know, like, hey, we like this about you, but we weren't really like looking for this or this or this or someone. If they're really nice, they'll let you know in the rejection letter like why they rejected you, so you can just like improve. But yeah, that is not to say that we should give up just yet. Many companies have like emerging talent groups where you can like put in your email and then like you have like a better shot on it next year. If not, then hopefully that helped, right? So I went over the 4 stages: the application phase, which is getting like a resume, and then applying to jobs, the interviewing stage, and then the acceptance or not getting an exception. And this varies greatly. If you're doing an internship or applying for an internship, they might do less technical rounds. But if you're like hiring for a new grad position, they usually have longer rounds because you're going to be staying there longer. And they really want to make sure that you're getting like you're a good engineer for that role. So that's kind of like the whole process. It's low key. There's low key like luck factor to it. Like, honestly. So like, don't really beat yourself up if you're not getting offers. It's very like competitive out there. Like, job market is absolutely cooked right now. So I really hope that helped. I really hope you got some amount of information from this. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.